So welcome to another video. In this video, we'll be taking a look at the concept of aggregate supply. So in the last video, we took a look at aggregate demand, and now we'll try and understand the factors which affect aggregate supply. So aggregate supply is the amounts that all firms are willing to supply at various price levels in the economy. So basically, it's the amount that if you have all the companies, all the different firms in the economy, it's the total amount of how much they're willing to supply at different price levels that you've got. So this is your curve, and then this one over here is your aggregate supply. At different price levels, you can find out how much they're willing to supply. So at this price level, they're willing to supply this much. At this price level is this much, this one, and so on. So it's basically telling you that. So spare capacity is basically the amount by which a firm, industry, or economy is operating below the maximum sustainable level of production. And basically the idea is that they could be producing more goods and services with their current resources, but they're not actually achieving that right now. So that means that they're operating underneath the level which they could be, and therefore there are unemployed resources in the economy, and that's known as spare capacity. So the next one is the Keynesian approach, and this is the idea that there can be an equilibrium unemployment and that a government can take action to stimulate AD to achieve long-term growth and employment. So basically the idea of the Keynesian approach is that there's a certain amount of unemployment, and then the government can take action in order to stimulate the aggregate demand to achieve long-term growth and employment. So it's basically the idea that this is my curve, this is a curve, this is AD. If I shift out AD, I can achieve more growth by shifting it over here. So before the growth is here, now it's over here. So that's basically what your Keynesian approach is. And then to the classical approach, which is the idea that actually the markets work best when left alone. So basically you want the free market to do what it does to generate economic growth. The idea with the classical approach is that people should not be interfering and trying to make certain things happen, like boosting aggregate demand and boosting or reducing aggregate supply or different things, because they say that actually if you leave it alone, it will do the best that way. So finally, we probably hear the words short run and long run aggregate supply quite a lot. In the short run, basically what it means is the period of time in which at least one factor of production is fixed and the others are variable. And this means that, like, if you own a farm and you suddenly need to make more crops, or you need to change the kind of crops you make, you can't suddenly just start planting new crops and instantly have these new crops. You have to wait for some time for your land to be able to, take the seeds and grow the plants. So sometimes you can't just instantly change what you're supplying, and you have to give it some time in order to get the right machines or allow it to grow or allow whatever you need to happen in order to achieve the new change that you've got. And long run AS is basically saying the period of time in which all those factors of production are variable. So in short run, if at least one of them is fixed, then you're in the short run. If all of them are variable and none are fixed, then you're in the long run. So it's quite a short chapter. There's not too much which you need to take on in this one, so it's quite a nice one to learn. So just print off the sheet and you should just revise it in your own time, and it should hopefully make it easier. And I'll see you in the next chapter.